I just built a roller coaster that goes through my entire house, and here's why. Growing up, my favorite roller coaster was called the Serpent. I still remember I waited in line for 2 hours just to ride it one time. But sadly, the next year, the theme park closed down and the ride was gone. I was actually so devastated, I tried to build it out of toys in my house. So my goal is to rebuild the Serpent through and around my entire house. That way I can once again relive that roller coaster that was taken away from me as a kid. There's just one small problem. How the heck do I build a roller coaster? Now, roller coasters are extremely expensive to build, and since I don't have anywhere near that kind of money, I'm gonna have to build this the cheapest way I can think of, and most importantly, make it safe enough to ride. Now, lucky for me, my parents are gone for the week, so hopefully when they get back, the house isn't destroyed. So I spent a few hours watching YouTube videos about roller coasters, and I felt a lot more confident on how to build this. So you can build homemade roller coasters out of PVC pipe and 2x4. So that's exactly what I'm gonna try to do. So the first thing I needed to do before making this huge roller coaster was to build a test track to see if I could even make this work. So I went to the barn to see if there was any 2x4s and PVC pipes, and I actually found some. So I picked everything up and took it all back to the garage so I could start the build. Now I need to figure out how wide to actually make this track. So I cut a bunch of wood at different lengths. I'm gonna see which one fits the best for this track. Got the small one first. Don't think I'm gonna be able to fit on something that narrow. Next, I'm gonna try this one. I am pretty tight in here. I'm gonna try this final piece. That is definitely enough room. So I'm gonna cut a few more of these and line them all up. So after measuring a rough number on how many pieces I would need to build this, I cut all the wood pieces and drilled them into the track. Looking good. Now that I have the track made, I need to find a way to put it in the air. So my idea is to take some of the scrap wood, go here, drill these together, and then when I flip it over, I'll be able to lay that section of the track on top of this. And hopefully because of this right here, the track won't tip over. So I spent the next 30 minutes making 5 of these supports that were gonna hold up the track. And although it started to look like a real roller coaster, there was one very serious problem. It still like has a little bit of give on either side here. Which means if this small test has this give, the bigger roller coaster could create some much bigger problems. So to give it some extra structure, I'm gonna add these pieces to either side. Now it'll have a lot of extra support and strength to hold me up. So I cut a few more pieces and drilled them into the track, and after around 30 minutes, woo! All right, so I have my track made, but in order to even test this track, I'm gonna need to make some type of coaster so that I can actually ride across the track. And to do that, I'm gonna need some wheels. A lot like these. Now this chair I have here only has 5 wheels on it, and I'm gonna need a lot more. So I have a bunch of my old skateboards, and I'm gonna take the wheels off these to make the coaster move. So I cut up some old metal and bolted the skateboard wheels on it. And just like that, this thing looks insane. Just like that. It'll go back and forth. That is so cool. Well, and although this looked awesome, for this to work, I would need something bigger. All right, so I put 2 of them together. It works. Yo! Oh, it's gonna hit the camera. That works so much better than I thought that would work. Now I'm gonna make one more of these, add a platform on top of it, and then I can finally test out this track. And after 2 hours of building, that is so cool. I mean, this looks super dangerous right now, but it will look like a roller coaster. The next thing I need to do, lock this into place and then add a platform on top. This way I can sit on it. This is so sketch. So now the test is to see if this track can hold me and if this cart will move. All right. Okay. All right. That did not hold me at all. So if I was gonna survive the full-size roller coaster at the end, I would need to come up with something way more stable. And after some thinking, I'm gonna add a 2x4 to the bottom of this so that hopefully once that's in place, it'll keep it from pushing forward and me falling like I just did a minute ago. Hopefully. So I added the 2x4s and drilled them into place. Ow. And to my surprise, this made the structure way stronger than I expected. Oh yeah, that's already, that ain't going nowhere. No, it works! Now this worked perfectly. The structure was strong enough to hold me while I was moving on the coaster. But I will say, this felt way slower than I wanted, so I needed to come up with something that would make it move fast. So the roller coaster I rode as a kid went 31 miles per hour. My electric skateboard goes 28 miles an hour. So I'm gonna try to add my electric skateboard to the coaster. So hopefully with the skateboard going full speed and I have gravity helping me when I go down the hills, I should be able to hit that same speed of 31 miles per hour, just like I did when I was a kid. So I added 2 extra boards to the track so the skateboard wheels could ride on it. But after a few more minutes of drilling everything into place,
Electric skateboard, test 1.
and although this worked perfectly, every good roller coaster has an actual seat. So I found this old fishing boat chair in the storage room, which I really hope no one ever looks for. And after drilling the seat into place, there was only one thing left to test on this roller coaster.
Please don't let this all break. 3, 2, 1. Yo! That works so well! This is sick!
Even though this thing is made from a bunch of random junk I found around the house, this is one of the coolest things I think I've ever built. Oh my gosh. The only thing left to do is to make a lot more of these and start building a real roller coaster all throughout my woods and house. So I measured every single part of my house that I thought this roller coaster could possibly go through, and I went to my local hardware store to buy all the supplies I would need to build a ton more of these tracks to place them throughout my whole house. So I spent the next few days literally just building roller coaster tracks. But if this roller coaster was gonna be anything like my favorite childhood roller coaster, it needed an epic start. And I have a crazy idea on where to do that. And that is right here out of this window. Now listen, I know that sounds crazy, but picture this. Imagine starting right here inside and then going out and around the house. I've never seen a roller coaster like that in my life, so let's try to be the first to do it. Now for this to even work, I needed to make sure that the track can fit through the window. And after measuring the window, I realized the only way I'm gonna actually fit through this window is by taking all of these off. Do you know how to take off the windows? Yeah, I didn't think so. And after wasting the next 10 minutes trying to figure out how to take off the window,
We got the window out.
but after putting the track piece in place, I realized that we might have a big problem.
The track just barely fits.
So I'm gonna need to get the coaster to see if it'll even fit through this window here. And thankfully when I placed the coaster, this just barely fits on either side. But I did realize one massive problem. This is all the room I have right now, and the seat alone comes up to about right there. So fingers crossed, once I take this off, I'll be able to fit through this window. And now that I'm officially an expert window remover, after a few seconds, I should be able to ride this thing, duck down a little bit, and fit through it. Now for the roller coaster to be able to curve around the house, I needed to find a way to bend the pipes. So I created this wooden structure to put the pipes in for a few hours so they would stay bent.
Oh yeah, that's bent.
So I connected the rest of the track outside the window, and after a few hours of building,
That is so cool. I still can't believe that I'm actually doing this right now. All right, going through the window. Test 1, here we go. That is insane. Oh, I almost went off the track at the end.
now I'm gonna make a bunch of track to go around the side of the house that's gonna connect to the front door. So I spent the next couple hours connecting the window track to the front door, and this roller coaster started to look very promising. I literally spent the next several days just building and connecting track. I've been building this roller coaster track for days now, and instead of taking a break and sitting on old chairs and buckets in my garage, I've been relaxing on FlexiSpot's new desk chair, the C7. This thing is honestly great. I've been using it throughout pretty much the entire build, and normally my back hurts when I'm doing long filming days, but right now,
I honestly feel great.
it's very compatible. You can use it inside your house while you're doing work, or even in your garage when you're building roller coasters. The chair has a self-adaptive dynamic system, which pretty much means it conforms to your body when you move around. And the best part is every part of this chair is adjustable. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, there has been times in between building this where I may or may not have taken a little nap. This chair can support up to 300 pounds, and it's great for anyone who spends long hours sitting. The 20-inch seats also provide a lot of room for you to sit. So click the link in my description and use code C730 to get $30 off the C7 chair. It is definitely worth it. All right, let's get back to work. So now I'm gonna connect the track that's on the side of the house to the front door. That way I'll be able to start the track from my window, go around the side of the house,
and then hopefully go through my front door. This is definitely a lot more building than I was anticipating, but if I pull this off, I believe this will be 10 times better than that roller coaster I rode as a kid, mainly due to the fact that it's at my house.
So I put in all the track I built over the last couple days and connected them all the way to the front door. And after a couple hours of lifting, guessing, and drilling,
That's gonna work perfectly. So now that I have the track all the way to the front door, my idea is to have the track go through the entire house. Now here's the thing. That is gonna be the most difficult part of this entire build because I could damage the walls, damage the furnitures, and most importantly, damage the floors.
and since I really don't want to damage anything in the house, because if I do, my parents will honestly never forgive me, to get some inspiration, I decided to visit the abandoned amusement park where I rode the Serpent as a kid.
Crazy to think that just right over there is where I stood in line for hours to ride the Serpent, and it's just no longer there.
It's crazy to think that when you're a kid, you feel like some things will last forever, but before you know it, they're gone. But at the end of the day, nobody can stop you from creating new and better experiences. So after visiting one of my favorite places as a kid, I was determined to create a new favorite experience as an adult. But before risking my good relationship with my parents by building the track inside their house, I had the craziest idea yet.
So I really want the track to go through the woods, but it's gonna need a lot of momentum. So my idea is to build the track going off the deck.
So I took off the railing. Dad, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. And then I started placing the track leading off the deck, starting to make the roller coaster go downhill. That way, if everything goes well on this roller coaster, I'll be able to accelerate and reach that 31 miles per hour just like the original Serpent did. And after an hour of drilling literally every piece of wood I could find,
See if it holds my weight. Yeah, that's sturdy. Oh, scared me.
and with the structure holding me up pretty well, I continued adding more track and tested it to see if it worked.
Holding up. It's holding up. That worked great. Now it's time to build something on the track I've been really looking forward to. Every good roller coaster has a good hill. So I'm gonna put mine right here. After the roller coaster goes off the deck, it goes all the way down this massive hill. I'm out of breath from doing that.
So I spent the next 30 minutes bringing up the rest of the track pieces and connecting them to the hill part of the ride. And yo, this was looking sick.
Actually, look at real. Just swallowed a bug. Oh.
And with the track looking honestly better than I expected, it was time to test it out.
All right, here we go. Oh, shoot. Well,
I forgot to screw in a piece.
okay, we're picking up speed. It works a lot better putting a screw there. Next, I'm gonna put track all the way up this hill. This way, after getting all the momentum of going down the track, it'll go uphill. So that way it'll hopefully stop me and I won't fly off the end of this and die.
And after an hour of connecting the track,
No way. Thank God that happened now and not while I was riding it. Note to self, put screws into that.
and approximately 45 minutes later,
It's not out bad.
so this is the end.
I made sure it was the end by writing the end on it. This is a freaking roller coaster just going through the woods. I have dreamt my whole life of doing something like this and I can't believe it's finally coming together. Oh my God. This is so cool. I am hoping to God the roller coaster stops before it hits this right here. Otherwise, I'm just gonna fly off.
And with the outdoor track finally complete, it was time to build the final and hardest part of this track, the indoor track.
So here is my idea. I want the track to come in from the front door, ride through the hallway, through the kitchen, and then connect out the door into the woods. I really hope this works and I don't end up damaging the floors and the walls. Oh my God, this is so crazy.
And just because putting a roller coaster in your house is cool, doesn't mean it can't get cooler. So I decided to paint the track yellow to stand out more. And after painting all the pieces, I started connecting everything together inside the house.
All right, now it's time to get this track off the ground.
And after 2 straight hours of just connecting and drilling all the track pieces into place,
this looks insane inside of a house. Now I need to see if this can actually hold my weight. Oh my God, it just breaks right now. Yo, it holds. That's actually really stable. Now that I know that it holds my weight, it's time to test it with the coaster. All right. I mean, so far, so good. I'm gonna hop on now. Wait, look how wild this looks just inside the house right now. What do you think, Lou? 3,
2, 1, tally ho. Oh my God. This is crazy. No way. No! Oh, it's so close to that area. I just rode a roller coaster in my house.
What is this? All right, the last thing I have to do is now connect the track that's outside the front door to the track that's inside the front door. Once I connect this, the entire track will be done.
What? No way I messed that up. Just barely too big.
It was almost perfect.
But after a very fast cutting session,
After days of work, the roller coaster is finally done. It's time to test it out.
now just before I was gonna risk my life on my new creation, I decided to test the roller coaster one more time, and thank God I did.
Oh my God, look at that. The cart fell off the track.
If I was on this roller coaster, things would have been very, very bad right now.
Someone need to get a new board to replace that part of the track.
And after spending an hour fixing the board and the coaster,
It works.
so after days of building, it was finally time to test out the entire roller coaster. I had one goal throughout this video, and that was to rebuild my favorite childhood roller coaster, the Serpent. So I got into the seat, and it was finally time to test out the whole roller coaster for the first time.
Roller coaster test. The first time. 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's in reverse. 3, 2, 1.
I could not believe this was actually working. I was riding a freaking roller coaster through my house. Now, as much fun as I was having, there was still one thing left I needed to do, and that was hit 31 miles per hour. So I went full speed down the hill and... But now you don't just build a roller coaster in your house without sharing it with the people you love. So I invited all of my friends and family to come test it out.
Pop up.
Oh God.
Everyone loved the roller coaster.
Oh, but never make me do this again.
But there was two people who specifically needed to like this roller coaster, and that was my parents. Mostly because it was in their house, and if they don't like it, I'll probably never be allowed home again.
I don't know about this.
And I think it's safe to say, they also loved it. So I spent days building just to relive a childhood memory for one day. And I'll be honest with you guys, it was 100% worth it. I truly felt like I was a kid again. Now while I sit here enjoying my roller coaster, you guys can also enjoy another video. Click here to watch another. Go on, click it.